잠깐만. 강사님 그 링크 좀 올릴게. 마이크 괜찮겠어? 너무 지직거리는 거 빼고 할까? 하고 하는 게 나중에 좋긴 한데. 카카오 스토리? 잠깐만. 일단 성도님도 폰에 이제 공지는 다 떴거든요.
Hello, I'm going to talk about the little poem. The first chapter, Playing Pilgrims. Megan said, the Christmas isn't Christmas, I don't have a present. And the sister complained about it, for I hate the poor. Someone have many things, but we don't have anything. It's very unfair. Then Bessie said, but we have the father and the mother. And Joe said, but we can see the father a long time. And Joe thought in her head, even forever. But Joe didn't say it about. And Meg said that I know that my mother talked to us that we have to save the money because the men fight in the field, but we use the money as it comfortable. Mother thought it is very unfair, so we have to save the money, but it is very hard to save the money. And the sister, then Joe said, I want to buy the book, and Amy said, I want to buy the crayon. Then Enda said, I want to buy the new music. And Joe and Amy fighted. So Meg scolded them, and Meg said to Joe, "You're like a boy," and Amy is so bad. And Bess said, "Joe is boyish and Amy is better. What am I?" Then Meg said, "You are just a dear." Then the clock rang. It means that the mother came to the home. So the sister prepared the mother's coming, and Joe saw the mother's slipper, and she said, "Mother's slipper is too old. I have to buy the new one." Then Meg said, "I'm the first, so I will buy." Then Amy said, "I will buy." Then Bessie said, "Then how about then we buy the present for each other?" And Meg said, "It is a great idea. What will you do? What will we buy?" And the sister will buy the handkerchief and the slippers and some bottle and the other things. And about the sister, Mega is the first. She is 16 years old. Her full name is Margaret March, and she is a beautiful woman. And about the Joe is the 15 woman, and she is like a horse, and her hair is very long. And about Beth's full name is Elizabeth, and she is so shy. And about the Amy is the last. We will see the sisters the later. We will see the sister later. Then the mother came to the then the mother before the mother come, they practice a play. Meg said, "I'm too old, so I want to play after the play." Then Joe said, "You are the best actress. So if you if you don't do the play, will be our play will be spoiled." And Joe said to Amy, "You have to practice so hard." And Amy said, I want to do better, but I can't do it." And Joe teach Amy about acting. Joe said, "Oh, Rodrigo help me like this." Then Amy followed it, but Amy's behavior is so hard. And the mother came, and the sisters moved quickly, and the mother said, "Please hug me." And did you, are you happy today? And they talk about each other. And Mrs. March said, "I have a letter from I have a letter from your father." The content of the letter is that Mrs. March is so hard that not to see the sisters, and the sister will be diligent. So if they meet again, they will be the real little women. So everybody regret about their last behavior, and before they go to bed, and they before go to the bed, they sing a song. It is a tradition of their house, and Mrs. March's voice was so good. So every sisters want to hear the Mrs. March song before their sleep, and let's play the piano. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Before last night, Mrs. March said to the sisters, "The Christmas present is under your pillow." So Joe wake up the first. Joe woke up first, and she saw under her pillow there was a book and a prayer. And then Megan woke up too, and Megan also had the book, but the cover color was different. And Bess and Amy also woke up, and also they had a book, and their color was also different. And Megan said, "Our mother wanted to us to read this book every day. So I suggest you then how about we read this book every morning." Then Bessie said, "It's a good idea." And she said, and she said, and then she said to she said to Amy, "Let's read together. I'll help you the hard word, and the word that we don't know, that the Jew and Meg will help us." And Meg go downstairs, and there was a maid servant, Hannah. Hannah is like her friend, and Hannah Hannah said to Meg, "Mrs. March goes to outside to help the poor people. There is no one like our madam to give on things so much." And there was no Amy, so the sisters was wondered at lazy Amy where she is, and there they saw the footstep. So they thought it is a mother's, but it wasn't mother, it was Amy. And there was a surprise, and she asked to Amy, "Where did you go?" Then Amy said, "I changed my bottle to bigger. So my present is the best." And they prayed to Amy, and they saw the best handkerchief. Best wrote it to the Joe. So Joe teased her, and Meg said to Joe, "Don't tease her." And Mrs. March came to the home. So the sisters said, "Thank you about your present, and we decided to read this book every day." Then Mrs. March said, it sounds good, but sisters, I suggest you that how about we divided our breakfast. So the poor people, they don't have the food to they don't have a food to eat. So sisters went to the windmills to give their food. That was the house was so miserable. They have no fire and the window was broken and they seem so hungry and they are starving. But they started to help, so they became changed. They give the fire and they give the food. So they thankful about their favor. And also the children said to Joe, she is like angel, and I think it is a Christmas present. And Joe feels good because she Joe regarded like a man. Joe regarded like a man at the home. So Joe felt good, and after they went back, they ate the breakfast. The breakfast was so they felt good, and 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 before they ate the dinner, they play they play about their play. The men can't enter the play, so they have to do the two parts. The one person, and they don't have money, so they don't buy the things. So they have to make the things they need. And about their play divided at the five parts and five parts. And its reaction was so good. All the people claps about their play, but the bed was broken, so the play was stopped. And Hannah said, "It's time to eat." So everybody come down the stairs. So the sisters come down to the first floor. But there they seem like the magic. There was like a big dinner. So Joe said, "I think the March helped us," and this I think Santa Claus. But the Mrs. March said, "You all of you the wrong. The Mr. Lawrence sent us and told our favor to the Mr. Lawrence servant." So Mr. Lawrence heard it. So I think he sent it to us. And they ate the dinner. And they talk about Lori. Joe said, and the children said. Children said the grandfather makes glory to in the house, so he can't go outside. So we invited her at the party, but he didn't come. And Joe said, "I want to become a friend with him." Chapter 3, the Lawrence boy. Mega said, "Joe, where are you?" She found the Joe because they got a letter from about letter. The letter content was the invitation of the party. Invitation of the party. Joe was in the top room. She was eating the apple and she was playing with the Scrabble. And Meg said to Joe, "Mother permitted to go to the party. So what will we wear? What will we wear? Mother will lend us some clothes." And after Mega go to play more, and Mega write a letter that they will go to the party, and so thank. And tomorrow Mega and Joe prepare to go to the party, and Bess and Amy, Maiden and the sisters. But there was accident. Joe burned Mega's hair, so Mega said, I wish I could go with just my hair." And after they go, they say hello to the mother. And mother said, "Did you get the handkerchief? And you have to come back home early." And Joe said it about, my mother will ask us that we have a handkerchief even there is an earthquake. Then Mega said it is the real lady. And after they arrive, became a friend with people so easily, but Joe couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So Joe decided to behind the curtain, but there was a person. He person. It was man, and he was Lori. So Joe was so surprised, and she said, "I'm so sorry. I don't know people is here." And but Lori said, "It's okay to hear. It's okay to hear." And they talk about each other. They talk about each other, and Joe knew that Lori is same age with her, same age with her, and also he was in the abroad. So Joe told to Lori to about the trip story, and Joe said, "I like the trip story." And Lori asked Joe, "Did you?" And Joe said to Lori, it was so thankful about that you sent the dinner. Then Lori said, "I didn't do it. My grandfather sent it to us, and there was a song of polka." So Lori suggests to Joe, why don't you play this song? This song is so good." Then Joe said, I can't play. I can dance because of my clothes. My clothes is so dirty." Then Lewis said, then why don't you play with me? Why don't you dance with me at the long hall? There was no person, so nobody can see us. So they danced. So they danced together, and after they arrived, Mega came to Joe, and she said, "I hurted my wrinkle. I can't dance anymore." But it was the dinner time, so Joe went to eat the dinner. But Mega said, I don't want to eat the dinner." So, but Joe makes mischief. She stole her clothes again. Then Lori saw her, and Lori, is there anything I can do for you? And Joe said the story. So Lori helped Joe, and they go to the Mega, and they play together, and after the Hannah came. Hannah here heard the story about then Mega hurted, so she was so angry, so she scolded the Meg, so Mega cried, and Joel had to find the courage to go with them, but there was no person, and Lori also saw it, and Lori said, I always go this time, so why don't you go with me?" But Joel said, it is so rude, it's so early. Then Lori said, "I always go this time." So they go together, and after they arrive home, they saw the two-night game of the Bess and Amy, and Bess tell the party, and Joe gave the bonbon to Bess and Amy, and before they sleep, Joe said herself, we there was lots of accidents, but there was no one that enjoyed this party than us. Or Chapter 4 Gardens. Tomorrow Megla felt bad, and she said it is very good that everybody is Christmas for the first year. And also she went to the first floor. Her feeling was also the low, and Beth said she had a headache, so she was playing with the kittens and about the Joe whistles, and Amy was solving the math problem, and Hannah was dissatisfaction about that. She woke up late, and Mrs. March was writing the letters, and Mrs. Moore said to the sister, "Guys, please, sisters, please be quiet at the premise. I can't write this letter. I have to write it, and after that, I have to write this." And Joel and Amy said, our family is so bad," and Joe said, and Amy said to Joe, "And you are the worst." And Hannah gave the mark to Meg and Joe. it was so famous at the house. It was very delicious, and Hannah made it. Hannah made it, and they go to the work at the kings and the and March kings and the into March Joe Meg's feeling was better, so Joe decided to make Meg feel good. So Joe told lots of the funny stories, so Meg feel good, and they go their work. And about the Meg, the father lost the money to help his friend. Then Meg said to the parents, "I want to work myself." So first the parents thought it is very bad that started to work so early, but they changed their mind. So Mega started to work at the kings at the home teacher. Kings at the home teacher, and she thought that it is so unfair that she have to work every day, but someone don't have to work, don't have to work. And about the Joe before the after the father lost the money, and Taylor suggests that she wanted daughter, but Mrs. March said March refused it. So everybody said it is very bad choice, but Mrs. March said it is very important to live together. It is more important than the money. Then and later Mrs. Aunt March saw that Joe's funny face, so Aunt March said to Joe she wanted a talk friend, so Joe became a talk friend with her. There was lots of accidents and incidents, but Joe always came back because she also liked Aunt March. But the real reason that writer thought is the book room. There was big book room, and when Joe had the free time, she always go there. But her time wasn't long because Mrs. March said Josephine. So Joe had to go to Aunt March. And about the Beth was so shy, so she couldn't go to the school. The parents tried to Beth to go to school, but Beth was so hard, so Beth studied at the home. Beth studied at the home, and she also spent a lot of time to daughter, lots of times to daughter. First, some people laugh about the best efforts, but when they knew best real effort, they want what's not left about best efforts. Amy's nickname was the little Apple. Like her nickname, she was so talented about the painting and about the painting, and also she could study her well, but she was little arrogant. And about the dinner and at the evening, they told their stories about their today and about the Joe story. Joe said, "I was reading the Belgium, then Aunt said, read the novel." So I started to read the novel, and then I asked to Aunt March, will I stop? And then Aunt March said, "It's very good, keep going." Then they asked to Joe, then Aunt March admit the novel is funny, but Joe said, "No, she didn't." And about Mega's story, Mega saw the king's problem and her king's problem at the house. And about the best story, let's go to the market that Hannah ordered, and she saw the woman don't have the money, but she wanted to buy the fish. And then little Lawrence came, and she bought the fish for her. And about the Amy's the Suji have the nice jewelry. She envied about it, but she draw that the ladies picture to bed. She also draw that the young ladies, "I am watching you." So Suji scolded, and so she cried at that. And she cried. And about the Mrs. March, so Mrs. March, so the old man. So Mrs. March asked him, are you going then?" And the old man said, "I'm going to the hospital. I have three sons, two options. One was dead, and one is in the enemies, and one is in the hospital, and I'm going that way. And this is written, you did great things to the nations. So I feel ashamed that my behavior. There is someone to give their all things, but I only give my husband's. But I did great things. And after parsing, Megha said to Mrs. Murch, I want to be your mother. So Mrs. Murch told the mother in told the mother, and she said there was four sisters, and about the one sister knew the happy is more important than the money, and the second is the strong is more important than the money, and the is the third is the give something is very good things, and the fourth knew that the virtue is more important than the money. Then everybody said it is very good. It is very good. I like your motor. Chapter 5 being neighboring. Chapter 5 being neighboring. Megha asked to Joe, where are you going? Then they were going, I want to advise you to stay home. It is very cold. It is very cold, but Joe said it's not my type to stay at home all day. And Joe go out, and Megha continued to read the book. And the next their house, there was a nice house of the Mr. Lawrence, but there was no life. There was no life power because there is no mother or the playing children. So, and she saw the lorry, and she saw the lorry, and she thought she is so lonely, and she is so poor. So Joe decided to became a friend with him, and she took the chance, and today was the chance. So Joe threw the snowball to the windows, and Joe asked to him, what are you doing? Aren't you bored? Boring? And Lawrence said, yes, I'm so bored. And Joe said, then how about to call your friends? Then Lori said, the men friends men cause the headaches. Then because they're so noisy, and Joe asked him, then why don't you call the human friend? Then the human friend, and Lori said, I don't have the gardener friend. Then Joe said, here I am. Then Lori said, oh yes, it's right. Can you go to my house? Then Joe said, I am not kind, but I will go to your house. So Joe went to her house and prepared something and visit Lori's house. The servants in Lori's house were surprised that someone visited the house, but Lori said, it is Mrs. Merge. Tell her to come in. And she came home, and she brought Best's kittens and Mega's jelly. And they go to Lori's room, and Joe clean his room, and they talk. And Lori said, I'm so sorry that I saw your family all day. And Joe said, it's okay, you can see my family, but why don't you play with us? And Joe told a funny story, so Lori laughed a lot, and they talked about the book, and Joe knew that Lori also liked the book, and she liked the book, and she knew the book like Joe. So Lori said, I will show the book room, and they visit the book room, and the bell rang. So Joe was afraid that it is Mr. Lawrence. Then Lori said, you don't have to be afraid, it is a doctor because of my bad cold. Then Lori went out. Then Joe saw the picture of Mr. Lawrence, and she said, She said he isn't. I won't be scared about him. He is so handsome. But behind her there was Mr. Lawrence, and Mr. Lawrence asked to Joe, aren't you afraid of me? Aren't you afraid of me? Then Joe said yes. She wanted to run away, but if she run away, she will be teased at the coward. So she said yes, I am. Then and Mr. Lawrence asked to her why are you here and what do you want to do? Then Joe said I want to become a friend with him. I think he is so lonely. Then and after Mr. Lawrence came, Lori came, and Lori was surprised that the Joe and Mr. Lawrence came together, and Mr. Lawrence saw that Joe and Lori hug each other, and Lori's face was so happy. So Mr. Lawrence knew that Joe was saying was right, and she thought himself. Uh, the the girl saying is right. She is so he was lonely, and there was a grand piano. So Meg suggested to Lori about the playing piano, and Lori played the piano, and Meg and Joe prayed a lot. Then someone said, "Don't pray more. Don't pray more. He will. I'm afraid that he will be to everyone's goodbye and visit again." And Joe came to the house, and Joe told the story about her today, and everybody got interest about their house. Amy had interest about the art, and Bess had interest about the piano, and Nicholas had interest about the flower, and Mrs. March had interest about the Mr. Lawrence that remember her husband's father. And Joe asked to Mrs. March then asked to Mrs. March why did the Mr. Lawrence say stop playing piano. Then Mr. Lawrence say, I guess that Lori's father run away with the musician. So run away musician. Even Mr. Lawrence objected it. So I think Mr. Lawrence is afraid that Lori run away like his father. So Joe knew about the reason, and at the last, and Beth said it is certain that the place is beautiful, but we have to climb the lion. Chapter 6. Beth finds the place beautiful. The Lord's house was certain that the place beautiful, beautiful, but there was like two of the lion. The first lion was there poor, but Lori was rich. Lori was rich. So first they were afraid about Lori's favor because they can't repay the favor. After they knew that Lori is so thankful about their playing with him, so their friendship also grew together. And about the next lion is the Mr. Lawrence. And about the Mr. Lawrence, he visited the sister house, and he was so funny. So everybody like Mr. Lawrence except the shy Bess, and they enjoyed Lori's house. Amy saw lots of the art things, and Joe read lots of books and made Mr. Lawrence funny, and Meg smell the flower, but the Bess couldn't go. At the past, she went to Lori's house one time, but Mr. Lawrence said who don't know Bess's personality, and he said loudly, "Hey!" So Bess ran away to the house, and she said, "I swear that I won't go to the house again, even I want to play the piano." Then Mr. Lawrence heard it, so he visited the sister's house, and she said to Mrs. March, "Madam, I need a person to play the piano." So So Bess said to Mr. Lawrence, I'm Bess, I want to go. I will go if you if you promise that anyone won't hear my piano and no one enter the room, then Mr. Lawrence said, I will keep it, and you are so singular about my granddaughter. Goodbye, goodbye, lady. And he go to the house, and Bess was so happy that she can play the piano. And she looked the chance, and there was a chance, so she go to the grand piano, and there was no person, and there was new music for the band. The Bess played the piano until the Hannah called the Bess to eat the dinner. To eat the dinner, and Bess didn't know that Lori protected the room that the servants couldn't go, and Mr. Lawrence heard it sometimes Bess's song. She only thought that Mr. Lawrence is very kind person. And later Bess decided to make the slipper for Mr. Lawrence. So she asked to Mrs. Murch, and Mrs. Murch permitted to give the money because Bess didn't ask many times. And so Bess started to make the slippers with and started to make and Joe, and she gave the present through the lorry, but there was no call, so Bess afraid that she made Mr. Lawrence angry, and she went out to exercise and get a wins to Joanna. And when she back home, the family said, Bess, come here quickly, and they seemed so happy. So Bess arrived at the home. There was a small piano and letter, and everybody said, Mr. Lawrence sent it to you. Let's read the letter. We didn't see her letter. About the content about the letters is so think about best present, and I want to repay your present, so I will give you the things that my little granddaughter used it, and the flower you use is my favorite, and thank you very much. You're a good servant, James Lawrence, and also Bess play the piano, play the piano, the piano sound was very good, and Lego said to Bess in joke, you will have to say thank to Mr. Lawrence. Then Bess said, I will. So everybody was shocked. The shy Bess goes to say hello, say thank to the scary Mr. Lawrence. And she go to the Mr. Lawrence, and she knocked the door. Then Mr. Lawrence said, come in. And also she was surprised that Bess came, and Mr. said, I came here to say thank you. And Mr. Lawrence was happy, and she felt that her granddaughter died and became, and Bess came the home. Everybody was surprised, and Joe danced, and Amy was so surprised that she fell down to the windows. And Mega said, I will believe the world ending is coming. Chapter 7, Amy's Valley of the Humiliation. Amy said about the Lori, he is like a Cyclops. Then Joe was angry about Amy said her friend told Cyclops. So Joe said to Amy, why do you say that? Did you say that? And then Amy said because Lori can ride the horse very well. So Joe left, and she go, and Amy said, I want to have the money that Lori used the horse to have. And she wanted the sisters here, and Meg heard it, and she said, why do you need the money? And Amy said, I have a debt. And Meg was surprised that Amy had the debt, so she asked Amy What's that? That Amy said, the lime debt. The lime is the famous in our school, so I have to repay the lime. I have to repay the lime. So Mega left and gave the money to Amy, and she asked, how much money do you need? Then Amy said the amount of the money, and she asked Amy, do you need the lime too? I will buy yours. Then Mega said, no, thank you, buy your things. And Amy by the bought the lime, and she went to school, and she became the very famous. Everybody liked her, and also she was invited to the party, and everybody wanted to lend their things to Amy. And also the Jenny Snow want to reconcile with Amy, but Amy didn't reconcile with Jenny Snow. And the guests came to their school, and the guests prayed Amy, so Amy was so happy. But that happy time won't be long, because Jenny Snow told to the David's teacher that Amy cut this much of the lime in under the desk. And before the incident, the David's teacher said, it is I David teacher then that lime bring the lime at school. The David's teacher said to Amy, brought the lime in the desk, and she threw away the lime and burned it. So everybody was shocked, and she hit Amy, and she said, you have to stand the desk until the class finish. Amy wanted to cry, but the Jenny Snow helped Amy could endure. And the bell rang. Amy ran to the house, and she told the incident about in the school. So also the family was angry about the David's teachers meeting, and Joe went to the house and brought Amy's things to the home. And Amy said, I don't want to go to the school again. And then Mrs. March said, it is okay that you not go to the school, but you have to study at home. And I think you did it wrong. But the Davis teacher's reaction is also bad. Then Amy said, then you are saying that Davis teacher did you very well. And then Mrs. March said, no, I didn't mean it. My meaning is you became arrogant. You broke the rule, so it is okay to scold you, but I thought hitting you is very bad. Hitting you is very bad. And the Mrs. Marsh said to the Amy, the virtue is the most important in the people, and you became arrogant. So please try to have the virtue. And behind the Mrs. Marsh, Lori was playing chess with Joe, and Lori said, it is very good saying. It is very good saying. And at the last, Joe said, it is like that you don't have to wear all the hat and the clothes and the pants to show you. Chapter 8, Joe met Apollyon. Amy saw Meg and Joe prepared to go outside. So Amy asked to them, where are you go? Then Joe said, never mind. It is like a saying that we are the young. It is like never mind. It is make us so angry because we are young. So Amy decided to knew where they are going, and she decided to beg to knew the place where they go, and and Amy said, I want to go with you. I'm so bored. Then Joe said, don't insist. You have to stay at home. And she saw something that Joe brought. So Amy noticed that Joe and Meg is going to the theater to see the play. So Amy said, oh, I know that we are going. You are going to theater, aren't you? Don't you? And then Joe said, yes, right, but you can't go because Lori invited me and Meg. Then Amy said, I want to go. I want to go. Then Meg said, Then the Meg said to Joe, that how about we bring her together? Then Joe said, if Amy go, I won't go. Lori only invited to us. It is very rude to Lori. If Amy came, will Lori will have to sit on another seat. And Meg suggests to Amy, and then how about the play with Hannah and Bess? Then Amy said, no, I want to see with you, but at the first floor, Lori was calling the Bess, Meg and Joe, so they go, and before they go, Amy said to Joe March, I'll make you sorry for that. Then Joe says fiddlesticks and at the theater the play was so funny and it was so fancy, but Joe's mind wasn't comfortable because about the fighting with Amy. Joe and Amy fight may so frequently because their personality is like the fire, and after they fight, Joe always apologized to Amy, and Joe tried to become a good person. So the sister said it is very good after she fighting because she became so kind like angel. And they arrived at the home. They saw that Amy was reading the book with Bess. So read the book was reading the book with Bess. So Joe thought that Amy forgot about the fighting, but it was Joe deceived herself. And tomorrow, Joe couldn't find his writing, so she asked the sister, "Did you see my writing?" Then Meg and Bess said, "I don't know," but Amy didn't say anything. So Joe noticed that Amy knew where is it. So Joe asked to Amy, "You know that where is my writing?" Then Amy said, "I don't know." And then Joe asked again and again. So Amy said, "I burned it. I told you you'll make sorry for that." Then Joe was so angry. So she said, I won't forgive you. You know the importance about my writing. I write it so hard to show the father when he came back. I won't forgive you." Then she was so angry, so she shaked Amy. So Michael and Bess saved Amy, and Joe cried, and she go to her room. She went to her room, and Mrs. March came, and Mrs. March makes Amy to say sorry, apologize to Amy, but Joe didn't forgive her. And at the dinner, nobody can spend a nice time. And Mrs. March advised to Joe, don't bring the anger to the bed. But Joe said, I won't. And tomorrow also they weren't happy. So Joe went out to skate with Lori. So Amy said, "You told me that you brought me again, and you broke the promise." And Becca said, "Don't do that. I think it's your fault. Look at the chance and say sorry to Joe." So Amy followed Joe, and Lori and Joe decided to race together. But in the Lori's middle is very different, so don't go to the middle. Joe heard it about, and she saw Amy that couldn't heard it about, but Joe led her to go to the middle, so she fell into the ice. So they saved Amy together, and they brought Amy to the home, and Amy fell asleep, and Joe's feeling was so bad that she thought she hurted Amy. So she said to Mrs. March, what will I do? I think I hurted Amy. uh, if this time again all the people won't like me, then please help me. Then Mrs. March said, it is okay. I was like it too, but people's help and I try so hard and pray. So I changed. So you can do too. You can do too. So Joe hugged Amy and but Amy didn't sleep. So Amy hugged together and they kissed and they reconcile. Chapter 9. Megas for the Vanity Fair. The Vanity Fair. Mega decided to go to the Muppets family of Muppets house first. Mrs. March thought it is very better that Mega go to the Muppets house because when she come back, Muppets house is so rich, but they are so poor. So Mrs. March thought that Mega's dissatisfaction will increase, but Mega tries too hard and work too hard. So Mrs. March thought it is okay to go to the Muppet's house, and she packed her things, and but Mega was so greedy. And when she arrived at the Muppet's house, they were also silly, and Mega started to follow their behavior. She used the French, and also went to shopping, and she played all day long. And the people liked her and said to Daisy. So Mega felt like she became a great lady. And there was a party, but Mega don't have a clothes. Mega don't doesn't have clothes. But and Lori sent a flower to Mega, and everybody wondered who the man that sent the flower with to Mega, and everybody thought that Lori liked Mega, and the people decided to decorate Mega. So Mega decorated the Mega, and Mega was decorated, and she saw Lori, but Lori said, I hate your appearance. I hate the appearance." So Mega didn't speak and talk with didn't talk to Lori. So Lori regrets, and she said, "I'm so sorry." And Megu drank the wine and play with the man. Lori said, "It is very bad behavior. You will regret." But Megu didn't stop. And when she came back to the home, she said the house is the best. House is very comfortable, and after the Bess and the Amy went to the bed, Mega said to Mrs. March, "I have a thing to tell you." Then Mrs. March said, "I know you will do that. I knew you will do that. What is it?" And Joe said, "Can I listen it too?" And Mega said, "It's okay." And she said, "I drank the wine and play with men." But Mrs. March said, I'm thinking that isn't enough. And Mega also told another her sin, and Mega thought that she heard about Mrs. Moped said that Mrs. Merchant had a plan with one of the sisters married with Lori, so they became the rich. So Mega wondered that Mrs. Merchant had a plan, so she asked to Mrs. Merchant that she had a plan. That Mrs. Merchant said, "She had a plan, but my plan is something different. My plan is my sister became happy, and it is okay if my daughter is happy. It is okay that they're poor. Then the Mega said, the Sundays said, the poor girls will had to dash. Then Joe said, "Then I won't marry." Then Mrs. Ford said, "Joe saying is right, and you don't have to be afraid not marriage. I have a lot of people, but all of my friends marry with married with the men and the Pickwick Club and the post office. The spring came and the daytime. The spring came and the daytime became long. So the new play was the new play was famous, and they had a garden their own. And Hannah said, "I can know the owner when I saw the garden. It is right that their personality also different. So the flower was also different, and they play with glory, and and they play all day long. And at that time, the club was famous. So they thought they also had the secret club, and also they liked the Pickwick. So the club name was the Pickwick Club, and Nego was the Samuel Pickwick, and Joe was the Snodgrass, and this was the tradesman, and Amy was the messenger ink. And also they wrote the Pickwick portfolio, and about the portfolio there was a corner of the poem and the novel, the title of the mass marriage, and the history of the pumpkin, and the sad story that Mrs. Noble People died, and in the advertisement, and about the recent condition like that, and the the Meg read it, and they told each other. And Joe said to Meg, "My Pickwick, I suggest that why don't we have a new club member? The Lori is having very good skills about the writing, and he is also kind. So I think he will raise the one level of our club. First, Megu and Amy reject about Joe's suggestion because they are afraid that Lori will laugh about their portfolio. But Joe said, "As you know, Lori isn't like that person. He will understand us." So they vote again, and everybody said it's okay that Lori came to their club. So Lori decided to come to their club, but Lori was in the closet. So everybody felt bad about Joe, and they say Joe is an intruder, and Lori said, "I came here, so I will give the present. I make the post office. It will become a very important institution about the two house, and there's a key, and I give you the key." And after the Lori came to the club, nobody regretted about Lori's coming. Like Joe saying, he raised one of the level of their club. And about the post office, many people use the post office. Even the Mr. Lawrence and Mrs. Roach, he sent to the sister the letter and the candy extra, and the surprise incident that the gardener of the Mr. Lawrence sent a love letter, the letter to Hannah. So they left, and they didn't expect that the love letter is the post office is used for the love letter. Chapter 11 experiments. Vegas get free that the kings go to the vacation, and Joe gets free that Mrs. Auntie March went to the plum field, and Amy heard about their get free, so she suggests to Bess the ride, and we also play all day long like Meg and Joe. And Bess said if the mother say okay, I will do that. And they ask that will just 1 week we will do the experiments. And so they drank the lemonade and they started the experiments. The tomorrow Meg woke up so late, so her breakfast was so cold, so it was not delicious. It isn't delicious, and Joe read the book, the title Big Word, and she cried, and she also played with Glory and Bess noticed that she don't have to do the homework, and she go to the Lori's house to play the piano, and Amy draw the picture at the outdoors. And about their recent condition, Meg was feel bad that she spoiled her clothes to knit. And about the Joe read lots of books, so she got a headache, and her personality became bad. So the good person, and she also felt the good person Dory, and the best was normal because she forgot that she don't have to do the work. And about Amy also felt bad because she also spoiled her clothes. And at the Saturday they couldn't see the Mrs. March, so they were also surprised that where is Mrs. March. So, and Maggie found that Mrs. March was in her room, and Mrs. March said, "I am so tired to do your work in a week, so I want to rest. So eat the lunch yourself." So they also agree about Mrs. March's suggestion because they wanted the work. And Joe made the food, and she invited the Dory to reconcile, and Meg was angry about that. Joe didn't talk anything about calling the Dory, so Joe did the lunch herself, and Joe thought that she can do the lunch herself. But the lunch was terrible. Also, they called Sally and the Croco grandmother, but the food was terrible. So they ate just food and jam, and after they go, also the Bess's pet, the bird died. So bird died, and they knew that the work is the important of their life. And at the evening, Mrs. March said to the sister, "How was your week?" Then everybody said it was terrible. It was terrible. Then Mrs. March said to the sister, "Will you choose the week to have work or not the work?" And everybody said, "I will choose the week in have a work." And Mrs. March said the last. So it is very important to balance of the work and the rest in your life. Balance in your life. Chapter 12, Camp Lawrence. The king of the post office is the best because they stay at home a lot of time, so she can check the post office of she can check the post office many times, and that day there was also the post to the Mrs. March. Lori sent the flower to Mrs. March. And about the Mega's post, Mega had one of glove, and Mega surprised that she drew her glove, two glove, but she